What's happening? Landlord from Alabama here, back with another video. And today, man, we finna talk about this 53-man roster. Hey, we them boys, they already know what's up. Now let's see what players didn't make the cut. Let's go. Okay, first we gonna start with the offense, man, and you seen the quarterback situation is just crazy. It's manic. You see Dak is the only quarterback on this roster. It looks like the Cowboy organization said Young Ryan Dakota is basically all we need. We don't need none of those other guys. I told you they are equally terrible, but they will bring at least one of those back, probably Cooper Rush Jones. You know, allegedly Cooper Rush is one of Jerry Jones' illegitimate sons or something, but you know this is roster manipulation. He will be back. We will have another quarterback on this roster, and more than likely it's Cooper Rush. Now let's talk about the running backs. You got Zeke, you got Tony, of course, but then we got Rico Dowdle, and you know I'm one of the people who was leaning slightly towards Malik Davis, man. It wasn't a big time blowout either way. I don't think Rico was just significantly better than Malik Davis or vice versa, but I was just leaning a little more towards Malik Davis. I liked his physicality. I liked the way he ran, his tenacity. If we don't get him back, at least on this practice squad, he will find a job somewhere. Somebody is going to sign Malik Davis. Now let's talk about these wide receivers, man, and basically it's the usual suspects. You knew you were going to have CD, Micah Gallup. Surprisingly, he's coming back probably earlier than anybody expected, but it's not many surprises. But you know, we got Jalen Tolbert, Noah Brown, James Washington, Cavante Turpin, and Dennis Houston. Now we pretty much knew most of those players was gonna be on this team, but to me, if you got any pushback on the wide receivers, it'll probably be with James Washington. He is basically unproven. We haven't seen him work with Dak at all, and he didn't look too impressive in count when he was there. So if you got anything to say about the wide receivers, it probably would be James Washington, maybe Noah Brown. Maybe you could have used a player like Dontario Drummond. I liked him, so you know, that's just me, but I think he got a decent skill set. If he wouldn't have had that injury during camp, I believe he would have showed it a little more, but we just gonna have to let that ride, man. I'm not too upset about the wide receivers. The tight end position, you got Dalton Schultz, you got Jake Ferguson, and Peyton Hendershot. Sean McKeon had suffered some kind of injury, so this tight end room is pretty much perfect in my opinion. I knew for a fact that Peyton Hendershot was gonna make this roster. When they started saying that he was one of the only players that could threaten people down the field vertically and in the seams, I was pretty certain that you can't just let that type of skill set walk out of your building, especially if you don't have nobody to replace it. So I'm pretty satisfied. I'm loving this tight end room. Now let's talk about this offensive line, and I'm sure you already knew we was gonna keep Tyler Smith, the rookie. We were going to keep Tyron Smith, even though he's hurt. Zach Martin, of course, and Matt Waletzko, he was a pick. Josh Ball, that's the one that's a head scratcher. That's the one that might cause an uproar because it was some more suitable candidates than him. In my opinion, I feel like Avante Collins was a much better player than Josh Ball, especially in these preseason games and in camp. I'm not sure what the Cowboys seeing, but they seeing something that we aren't. It's some kind of disconnect there. I don't know what it is, but to me, Avante Collins supposed to be on this team, especially before Josh Ball. Now with the defensive ends, I wasn't too sad about that either, man. We had some pretty solid candidates. It wasn't too many people that was gonna beat out the people that we kept. I know Martavius Big Cat Bryan, he got cut. But honestly, if you look at the defensive ends we kept, I don't see nobody taking him over these players that we kept. We know we got DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, Terrell Basham, the rookie Sam Williams, and Chauncey Ghost. Now, Terrell Basham was interesting. I thought they were going to try to kick him under the bus. I thought they were going to try to do my boy wrong, but he had a decent camp and a decent preseason. Shout out to him. I'm glad we got him back. Now, this defensive tackle room, we knew it was gonna be some hard cuts in there, and you know the boy Carlos Watkins got cut. Might be some kind of roster manipulation, he might be back, but this defensive tackle room is looking nasty. We got Oso Digizua, we got Neville Gallimore, we got Tristan Hill, then we got Quimbo Hanna and the rookie John Ridgeway, the Vanilla Gorilla. And I'm not too mad at any of those, man. I believe the defensive tackle room has gotten much stronger than last year, especially not having Neville Gallimore to start the year and he missed some games. So the defensive tackle room is going to be strong in my opinion. It's definitely not many weaknesses I see on this defense. Now, it was a kind of head scratching, you know, a peculiar move that was on this linebacking core, man. You know, we got the great Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, Anthony Barr, Jabril Cox, and Luke Guilford and Devin Harper. Now, the one that can cause an uproar to me is Luke Guilford. It's no way you can convince me that Luke Guilford was playing better than Story Jackson. It's no way on earth, or Mike Tafur. I would prefer either one of those guys or Malik Jefferson. I would prefer all three of those linebackers over Luke Guilford. It's no shot to him, but if you seen how Story Jackson was shooting those gaps and coming up, making hard, big-time hits, I like Story Jackson since I seen his tape in the offseason, and it's a shame that he didn't make this team over a player like Luke Guilford. That's probably some politics. It is what it is, man, but I would definitely prefer Story Jackson over Luke Guilford. Now, this cornerback room, we thought it was gonna be a little controversial, but it wasn't too bad. We still got Trayvon Diggs, of course, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, even though he's gonna be out for a little amount of time. I'm not sure how long, but it's good to see Deron Bland got his chance, man, because he been balling all preseason. We seen it was no fluke. He was consistent. He was definitely one of the best defensive backs we had out there on the field, man. He earned his spot. He earned his time, and they gave him a chance. That's great news for Deron Bland. Now let's talk about the last position group, the safeties, man. You know we was super deep in the safety room. You know we got J-Ron Curse, Mr. Green Dot, of course, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell, Malik Hooker, and Israel Mukuamu. It's great to see they paid attention to the tape, man, because Izzy deserves a spot on this team for sure, and Marquise Bell. Those gonna be two players that's probably gonna make some noise on the special teams and get a few reps in and out. That's a big time addition to your team, man. Especially Izzy looks like he definitely took a year or two leap, and I can't wait to see it, man. That safety group is strong. But overall, we know this is not the final 53-man roster. You know they still gotta finesse and make some little moves. You know they gonna get creative with these rosters, man, especially with some of the injured players and some of the practice squad players. Expect to see Cooper Rush or Will Greer back in the building. You know the kicker, Brett Maher, is gonna be back, man, so you can expect it's gonna be some more moves, some more roster manipulation coming in a few days. I'm really encouraged about this roster, man. We don't have many weaknesses. And the day that Micah Gallup gets back, I'm gonna walk out here with my chest out. I'm not gonna be afraid of any team at that point, man. The only doubts I have is a little on the offensive line and a little bit in this receiving core, but I think the tight end room could uplift the receiving core. And I'm just not too negative about the outcome I feel on this season, man. I feel like we will be a decent team, but when Micah Gallup gets back, I feel like we will be a great team. I feel like we'll be ready for anybody in the league. That's just my opinion. That's just how I'm feeling. But that's all I got for you today, man. Just holla at your boy, Landlord from Alabama, with the same handle on all social media. And like I say, 1K, 1 love, Cowboys Nation. Let's go.